Howdy folks, so yes, going camping and it's raining. Yeah, I thought I'd do a bit of minimal gear stuff, so I got a lightweight pack on today with sort of bare essentials in it. I've no sleeping pad, so I'm going to have to make some kind of means of getting myself off the ground. I've just harvested some pine needles so I can have tea later. I don't have kind of tea stuff, coffee stuff. I've got water, I've got one beer, I've got a little fish to cook and a bit of rice. Kind of a, you know, cleansing trip, so to speak, other than the beer, obviously. Yeah, it's not long after Christmas and just full of cheese and stuff, so I thought I'd have a night out and kind of take it all kind of back to basics, as it were. I've got about 2.5 hours till dark, and probably about 45 minutes of walking to do, so I'm going to get my head down and do that, get myself into the woods, and then yeah, we'll see about building a bed of some sort. It's a foggy, grey, horrible day, isn't it? But yes, I'm heading to the forest over there, and yep, I'm trudging through mud. There are beautiful swans back there on that little pond. But, they weren't pleased to see me. They were making that noise. Displeasure, I think it's called. Oh God, it's so muddy. So I'm walking on that bit because it's a bit in the field a little bit, because that's the footpath there, which is a little wet. So I'm just trying to skirt around these tractor rut marks. Back on the path. Look at that. Holy crap. My path seems to have disappeared. Look at this. I left the mud behind and thought, oh, finally on a solid path. That is the route I need to go. Crap. How deep is that? I mean, the path, if you can see it, just continues over there, so it obviously drops down into this little mini valley, and yeah, shows how much rainfall we've had lately. I'll have to find a way round. I'll get back with you in a bit. Now the shooting starts. Oh, it's all going on today. Okay, so I'll make this brief, but I'll show you what I got in the pack. Let's just separate a few things, right? These are camera bits and lighting, because here in the UK it gets dark about 4 o'clock, so I need lighting or you won't see nothing. A zebra pot, that's a trout from the river. That's a beer. That's my glasses. Put the food and drink to one side. What does that leave me? In the pack, some water a tarp, some more water. Oh, do need a drink. Poo kit, first aid kit. Silly not to leave home without one of them. Bit of paracord, another bit of paracord, and then this is my wool poncho for later. Don't have a down jacket and, you know, things like that, so I've got a wool poncho which will double up as kind of a bedroll as well. And then that's my thermals, saw, knife. I'm going to leave it in the bag, but sleeping bag for later. That's a down bag. I was going to bring my military bag, but it's too heavy, and I gave up. Bit of plastic to kneel on, and then that's my rain jacket. So that's it. That's what I'm carrying today, and the thought I've had is to make a kind of debris bed. I've got my big tarp, it's 4.5 meters by 3, so I'm going to put it up to 3 meters that way, so that gives me 4.5 meters to play with as a kind of ground sheet and a top sheet. But I'm going to make a massive pile of leaves here, I think, in between these two trees. Don't know if that one's in shot. I was going to pile up leaves, pile up leaves, pile up leaves, and then put my tarp on top of them, and then fold it out over the top, so the leaves will act as my bed, or my mat as it were, to raise me up. The only problem I got with that, I think, is the leaves are wet. There's my gloves. But yeah, this is what I'm dealing with for my bed, you know, wet leaves that are mulchy. You know, ideally I should have done this in autumn, but due to ill health, you know, this one got put on the back burner, and I really wanted to do this one before the leaves disappeared and turned to mush. So they're semi-mush now. I think this is okay here. It's a little bit lumpy and bumpy, but if I'm just going to cover it all in leaves, then I shouldn't notice those. What I might do is cut some hazel poles and kind of make lofting myself. So if I make a line of hazel poles, cover that in leaves, and then do a cross of hazel poles and cover that in leaves, and just kind of build it up, then the hazel poles should kind of keep the insulation going. But we'll see. It's new to me, so I'm just going to play. So I'm going to get on and start, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're, I don't know, half a foot off the ground now. I think that's going to be the back of the shelter. So I've done this bed sort of in line with the trees, and I might put the tarp with a little overhang and then have a fire out here out the front. But this needs to be much bigger. I'm going to get some poles though and just sort of crisscross them here to try and build that loft without having to get masses and masses of wet leaves. And the beauty about using hazel in this area, there's lots of it, but it's one of those trees that needs to be coppiced, otherwise you get, you know, lots of dead limbs, which will do me for firewood. But if you take out the odd live one from the bunch, it helps the tree grow more in future, so you know, it's not hurting the woodland. it's a nice height for sitting. I'm about a foot off the ground. I don't know whether to do another layer or call that good. I think, looking at the time and the weather, I'd probably better call it good for now. Put the rest of the shelter up, and then I think later, you know, if I feel like it, I can stuff more leaves. But a foot is, you know, it should be all right to keep the cold of the ground off me. I'm happy enough. Right, let's get the shelter up before it gets dark. Right, so this big heavy dead wood. So I'm going to roll this piece of wood up. This one at the back. That keeps that from coming undone. last bit of paracord. I'm just going to cut it into 3. Because I might try and pull the back out, so I'll keep that bit in case. This is the famous jam knot. So tying a knot like a first part of your shoelace, and then tying another one loose with the other knot past it, and then just go around the thing you're going around, pull that through the loop. Difficult to see as it's getting dark, but, and then just pull it tight, and it will bite where the knot is. This is not really a fire reflector, what I'm building. It's more a screen, so the flames aren't visible from that direction. Well, it's just about dark, and yeah, I think I'm ready. I've got some firewood to work with. I built a tiny fire reflector. It's not really a fire reflector, it's just there's a footpath in that direction, and I just didn't want, you know, early evening time when I light the fire, didn't want the glow of the flames to be visible, so I'm just kind of going to keep it behind that little wall I built, and once it's dark, no one's coming in here anyway. So yeah, feeling pretty good about it all. This shelter's nice. I need to test the bed, so let's let's see how that is. I don't know which way I'm going to lay. Oh. Well, it's not bad. It's a firm bed. Let's try this way. Yeah, I'll just decide on that later. Yeah, it's a bit lumpy, it's a bit firm, but it'll do. So I think I'm going to sort of prepare dinner and just get myself straight and organised, and then I'll start cooking and stuff once it gets a bit darker. See, I've got a trout. So I'm just going to take the bark off this piece of wood so I can skewer it and hang it over the fire. These pheasants have finally shut up. I think they were roosting because they were landing in the trees all around me. I think they're probably upset that I'm here in their place, so they're warning each other that there's someone sitting in the woods. Pardon me. And a point for the fish to go through. Another one. And it occurred to me that I didn't bring a fork, so or anything to eat with. So I might just see if I can fashion some kind of eating implement while I've got my tools out. Yeah, it's better. There we go. One eating implement with bits on. Nice. I think it's time to light the fire now, and then we'll sort the fish out after, because it's getting cold and I'm wet from the walk. My hat is wet, my clothes are a bit damp, so yes, I'm going to get myself warmed up and then get the fish going. Pardon me. There's Mr. Fishy. I should. Oh, only just. Nah, it's a bit ropey, to be honest, but I'm going to put it up above the fire. I'm going to leave it there for quite a while and hope that it stays in one piece. that's me done. Got my beer on the go. My fish is cooking slowly. I just put a pot on to boil some water. I've got a little bag of rice and a few cherry tomatoes, which I don't know what to do with them. I'll either eat them raw or drop them in the rice maybe when it's nearly done, just so that there's a little bit of goodness in there with the fish and the rice, a bit of flavour. But yes, I'm just going to chill now for a bit. It's trying to rain again, so I'm kind of glad I got that fire going when I did. It hasn't been heavy rain all day, it's just been that misty rain in the air, you know, everything kind of gets wet. I mean, my hat is still damp, so yeah, it's not the nicest of days. It's turning into a muddy pit where my feet are in front of this bed, but I think the agenda tonight is going to be eat my food and then take my boots off and get in my bed, I think. Yeah, I'll switch off for a bit and just lay back and relax and see how cold I feel on this bed underneath me while I wait for dinner to cook. I don't think it's late. I mean, it's only 5 o'clock or so, but it's pitch black here now, so yep, I think I'm in for the night, and just going to do a bit of waiting around and then I'll eat. So I'm going to switch the camera off for a bit. To quote a good friend of mine, post-Christmas, look at my fat face. There's a lot of cheese been eaten. I think I need to get a bit more exercise. Right, see you in a bit. You missed it, but the fish fell off the stick, but lucky it just landed on the wood on top of the fire, so I fished it out and chucked it on with the tomatoes in the little pan you get in the top of the zebra pot. So I think the fish is done, just waiting on the rice. It's bubbling away. I think I might turn this into fish soup, you know. Sounds lovely. But I might using my blue gloves, pick all the meat off the fish and drop it in the rice, and then throw the tomatoes in there as well, and just eat that as is, because otherwise I'm going to be eating the fish with my fingers and it's just going to be a stinky mess. So yeah, if I just make it a one pot fish soup, then I can eat it with my finely whittled spoon and it'll all be fine. If anything, I can drink it out of the pot. This fish looks alright, to be honest. It just fell from its thing. It looks cooked though, which is nice. Coming off the bone nicely. Oh, I dropped it on the floor, man. I'll leave the skin in there as well. Oh, that's hot. Yeah, definitely cooked. Oh, the skin's good. Doesn't that look appetizing? Wowzers. Right, I might give that a couple more minutes just to cook the tomatoes, and then she's ready to eat. Yummy. Let's have a go on this then. Wow, yeah, it's hot. It tastes very healthy. There's a moth attacking me. Yeah, that's all right. Fish, rice and tomatoes. It started raining again. I can hear it on the tarp. It's very fine, but it's definitely there. So I think I'm staying under here for the rest of the night. So I've just about dried off. The hat's still a bit damp. Shoulders are okay though. I'm hungry, but it's so hot. Yeah, as I said, you know, it's been Christmas. It's what's the date now? 30th of December, so New Year's Eve tomorrow. But yeah, Christmas time, there's a lot of overindulgence. And, I'm quite partial to the cheeses and all that sort of thing. And I'll eat them non-stop for about 3 or 4 days, and then suddenly I've got to draw a line under it and sick of it. I don't want it for another 12 months. So this is the first of my kind of detox meals. I think keep it plain and simple. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it actually. Could do with a bit of blue cheese. Oh man. Right, I'm going to shut camera off and finish my dinner, and then I'm just going to chill. So I'll come back and show you at bedtime what I'm doing about the bed situation. Oh dear, I've got a runny nose now. But yeah, I'm just going to eat for a bit, so we'll catch up later. Well, our dinner was pretty good, it must be said. It was fishy and ricey, but no, it was okay actually. It was tasted healthy. That's the best way to describe it. But yeah, I'm full, so that's good. I got a little bit of like a muesli bar thing. I just put a pot on for a hot drink. I've got a little tin of hot chocolate in my, like the pocket part of my bag. I didn't realise it was in there, so I'm going to have hot chocolate tonight instead of pine needle tea. But yes, I've just fixed my bed up a little bit. Where I've been sitting on it, it had sort of squashed right down, and I could feel the sticks through the gap. So I just spent a few minutes, just uncovered it, put a load more leaves on, and just sort of sorted it out so it's level again. and then put more wood on the fire. The trouble is, because it's still kind of moist here, all the wood's wet, so I'm having to work at keeping the fire going, because it's only hazel that I'm burning. I'm not burning anything massive, so it's a few twigs and then they go out, and then it's hard to keep it burning with flames, if you know what I mean. So I just spent a bit of time nursing it back to life after I'd eaten and stuff. And yes, so I'm going to sit, have hot chocolate, and then I'm going to get in bed. My bed consists of, I've got the Rabascent 1100 sleeping bag, so that's hopefully going to look after me pretty well. I'm not going to have the fire burning in the night because the smoke is filling my shelter at the moment, so I'm just standing out the way of it while the fire gets going. Yes, as I say, there's the Rabascent sleeping bag, and then underneath that is my wool poncho, which I've just laid as a kind of extra bit of warmth. And then pillow, I've got a few clothes in a dry bag, my base layers, which I'll probably put on for sleep, but I'll swap out, you know, my trousers and this wool shirt, put them in the dry bag and use that as a pillow. And that is that. So I am ready for bed. I say I was going to make a hot chocolate and then tuck myself in, I think. Fish water. Stick in my hot chocolate. I just had a moment of actual nervousness. My wife rang. I was talking to her on the phone, standing up out of camp a little bit, and I could see a light over there. I said to her, oh, I think someone's walking on the path with a torch, and I sort of went to have a little look, and I could see a light over there, and then I could see another one over that side, and I had to walk through the woods until I got near to where the footpath is, and then realised that there's a house on a hill way over there, and it was the house, I think, that had lit up. And it was just kind of peeping through the trees. It looked like someone walking along, and then over the other bit that I could see, I don't know, it's a farm, so I think it must have been the farmer doing something on his tractor or something, driving around the field, but it's nowhere near me, it's miles away. But yes, I turned around to come back to camp. I couldn't find my camp again, and I'd walked 200 or 300 metres in the dark with my torch off to try and see what was what, and I put my torch on and turned around, and I had no idea where I was. And so I had a little moment of panic, and I kind of walked to what I thought was, because my fire had gone out, so I walked to what I thought was my camp, and I was looking, expecting it to be kind of right in front of me, and I just glanced to my right and I saw some embers. I nearly walked straight past it. So yeah, that was a moment. But yes, I'm back now, and feel a lot better about life. My fire is down to just a few embers. I've just kicked it into a small little pile and it's flamed up again. I'm not going to put any more wood on. I'm going to go to bed in a sec. But I've made my hot chocolate in my fish stew pot, which I did rinse out, but it does have an element of fish to it. I am going to bed, and my battery light is flashing, so yes, I've got my long johns to put on as my trousers are covered in mud. I'm getting in my bag, and I'll watch that dying ember of a fire until I go to sleep. It's about 9:30, 10 o'clock, so early night tonight. I'll see you bright and cheerful in the morning. Good night. Good night, Mr. Owl. You too. Good morning. It's 7:30 and it has rained all night, and yes, it's going to be a wet walk home. I'm very glad I threw in a waterproof jacket at the last minute. I've got a nice muddy puddle forming just at the entrance of my tarp. I think I'm going to have to lay here for a bit longer because it's still pitch black. I don't think the sun comes up for another half hour or so, so I'm trapped for the time being, but I'll get up soon and start breaking the camp down. But yeah, I think I'm going to drink some water and eat a porridge bar. Yum 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 yum. Oh, it's miserable out there, I tell you. Well, proper good morning. It's now 8 o'clock, so the sun really is officially up, but it's still dark and horrible. But, yes, this is my breakfast, which is a porridge on the go, blueberry and apple, which I can't bring myself to eat at the moment because they're hard work. Chewy lump of goo. Yeah, that was a wet night, and it was running off the front of the tarp for most of the night. There is a muddy mess just out here, but yeah, all good. I stayed dry. This bed actually was pretty good. It wasn't the comfiest thing, it was quite firm, shall we say. But it wasn't cold. Once I'd been laying on it for a while, it all warmed up around me. It was much like being on a, you know, decent sleeping pad. It feels warm underneath me still. Sleeping bag did its job. This is new, this sleeping bag, the whatever it is, Rab something, courtesy of Mrs. CLB for a Christmas present. But yeah, I look forward to many warm nights in this. But yeah, I am going to get out of here in a bit because obviously I'm wild camping. I'm not in a permission, so I don't really want to be lounging about here half the morning. Plus, that breakfast is not appealing to me today, so I'm about a 45-minute walk to my house. So I think I'm going to pack up in a minute, clear all this away, and then take myself home for a decent breakfast and a cup of coffee, because yeah, water and a porridge bar isn't going to cut it. But yeah, I slept pretty good though. I mean, I woke up twice for a wee, and both times it was raining, but yeah, it was okay. No disturbances after my late night wander through the woods. Yeah, I went to sleep about 9:30, I think, and I woke up at midnight and had a wee, and then woke up again about 4, I think, for another one. And now I say it's 8 o'clock. I've been awake for about half an hour, but just waiting for it to get light enough to do stuff. But it is light enough now, so time to get up and time to pack. Let's get out of this bag if I can. Need to find my trousers. My trousers were wet and muddy on the up to about the knees. Once I put them on, there's no more sitting down on my lovely new sleeping bag. So the rain's coming back. I was thinking there's a break in the rain, I might get up and run, but it's back. So I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and get wet, I think. But yeah, right. Pardon me. Let's get up. Oh, look at this. Oh. Look at that. It's a stodgy entrance, Lee. Yeah, shelter did okay though. Wasn't bad at all. And to be honest, I wasn't really worried about the shelter. It was more the bed that was concerning me. Wasn't sure how dry it would keep me, how warm it would keep me. So yeah, I was pleased. I was pleased with the result. But everything else stayed intact. I'm glad I pulled that back out, just gave me a little bit more room. I stuffed all my stuff at the back, my camera and my trousers and stuff. Ooh. And I quite liked the little lip under there where I rolled up the log to hold everything in. It meant I had a little kind of area just to put phones and batteries and stuff that was off the ground and dry. So yeah, that worked out really well. I might do it again one day. I'm having trouble holding this camera. But anyway, enough talking. I'm going to get on, dressed and cleared up and stuff. Okay, I'm all packed up. Just got to dispose of the body and then we're ready to go home. That's quite a cool bed. I did enjoy sleeping on that. I was surprised that it worked as well as it did, to be honest. I think the crisscross sticks that I put in there helped a lot. But, you know, it's getting you off the ground, which is the main thing. But because the leaves are so mulchy, is the word, I thought maybe it wouldn't work so well, but it did. It was really good. Right, that is it then, folks. I'm going home. YouTube stuff. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, as you know. Links in the description to anything that I use that I think you might find helpful. Not a lot today, I'm sure. Buy me a coffee page. You know, any donations are gratefully received. They help fund these trips. What else? I'm on Instagram, Camp Life Bushcraft. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to try and take it a bit more seriously this year. You can find me on Facebook. I've got a Facebook group. If you like the outdoors, you like taking photos of the outdoors, join my group, dump your photos in there. I think that's it. Subscribe to the channel, because that's what it's all about. So yes, have a good day, and see you soon.